And we are live. Welcome back to Pistons Jack Fan Reacts, where we're going to break down and chat through a tough, close, gritty game that the Pistons unfortunately come out as the losers for tonight. But just honestly, it was just an incredible atmosphere at Little Caesars Arena tonight. Uh, but if you want to come up on the stream, I can see I've got Prince here ready to go in just a moment. But we normally go for about an hour on here. So if you want to come up on the stream, shoot me a DM now on Instagram or X, and I will drop you a link to come up and chat through the game. Plenty to chat through. I'm not gonna lie, my throat and voice is pretty tired and sore, so bear with me. I'm gonna try bring my best energy, but my brief thoughts on the game. It's really hard to go past, as Devin says here, um, the crowd tonight. Like from the moment I walked in there, I was where we were sitting. I was talking to someone and had my back to the crowd. And this was just before the Knicks had come out onto the floor, about 20 minutes before the game. And there was this deafening boo, and I thought it was like coming from the speakers. It was so loud. I was like, oh, they're pumping in sound. And it was the actual Little Caesars Arena's crowd. And like from that moment on, the starting lineups were crazy. It was so loud. The FU Brunson chants, just like the intensity from the crowd, like it was. I was literally at Madison Square Garden, 3 or 4 days ago, and I thought that was the most crazy, electric atmosphere I've ever been in. But I'm not even being a homer. People will say I am being biased, but that was a level up. Like maybe it was because it was my team and our home crowd, but wow. Like when that game was close and when each time our team was making a run, it was crazy in there. It was just the crowd, big, massive tick. Like, because I don't really follow the other Detroit sports teams. Like I haven't watched the Lions in the playoffs. I didn't really pay much attention to the Tigers playoff run. So I haven't really felt what a Detroit sports playoff crowd's like, but wow, like it was just insane. So I have to start there. I can't start the show any other way than just saying everyone there tonight. Like I know Devin was there. It was so good to meet you. I know Maddie was. I met so many fans. Just everyone deserves like a pat on the back. It was incredible. But in terms of the game, it was the almost the worst case scenario start for me. I wanted them to come out and start well. I think for me, this series against an experienced playoff team like the Knicks, a fast start is key for me in every game. And I think they quickly got down like 12-3. It took the Pistons probably 4 minutes to make a field goal. JD and Asar were missing putbacks. You could tell they were nervous, and they like, if I'm taken back by the crowd, they probably were as well. They've definitely never played in front of a crowd like that, anyone on that team, for Detroit. So they got down early and they did get it back. But the Knicks tonight were just the more, I don't know if I want to say composed, but I think their offensive talent shone through. Cat in the first half, after having a down game, was just draining everything from deep. He even hit, I think it was in the third, like a three from like 6 feet behind the line. It felt like from where I was. Like he was on fire. I think he nearly scored 30. Brunson had 29. Bridges had like 20. OG Anunoby had like 20. Like their 4 best scorers were all clicking tonight, and there was definitely elements of this game that were frustrating with the officiating, which I'm sure we're going to talk about. But if I'm being completely honest, of course, our defense probably could have been a little bit better on those guys. But when those guys all score 20 plus, I can't imagine the Knicks lose many games. So, I have to tip my cap to them, even if Brunson still annoys me like probably everyone else here. But for our guys, Cade was solid, made some key shots. Tim Hardaway Jr., I probably thought Cade's the best player of the game. It's hard to go past him. But thought THJ was huge. I think he had 12 in the first quarter, 18 in the first half, 7 threes, which I believe might tie a playoff franchise record for the Pistons. He was huge. He stepped up. I thought JD was solid in the second half after being quiet in the first half. Paul Reed, similar. Loved Ron's energy, knocked down all his free throws. But look, some question that I'm pretty sure that was a backcourt violation at the end. They never gave up. That was the thing I loved, and that's why I feel still so good about this team. Is literally down to the last zero point 0.5 seconds, they were hustling, they were making shots, and I'm sure we'll talk about some players not having the best games, but that's all part of it. And to be honest, like I'm not worried at all. I think game 4, they come back and they win it. Start better, tighten up some things. And if the crowd's anything like it was tonight, I think that'll get them across the line. But sorry, I've kept everyone waiting. I'm going to get Prince up. I've got Sarah, Prince, and Austin here. I don't want to keep everyone waiting, so I might just do 5 minutes per person, and then we'll see how we go. But I'm going to bring up Prince first. Prince, what's going
Hey,
on,
how you
man?
doing, Jack?
I'm good.
I'm good too. Man, a game. It's been it was a pretty it was a terrible game. I can't even lie. Like,
Really?
I love the atmosphere of Little Caesars Arena. It was like very, very like I've never really heard Little Caesars Arena this loud ever. But other than that, I feel like from the way we started it, I kind of X out the third quarter. We was doing great in the third quarter, but ever since like fourth quarter, second quarter, first quarter, I hated it. It's like we weren't even playing like us. It was like Malik Beasley, man, I don't even want to. I'm gonna save that for later. But Tim Hardaway Jr. had a great bounce back game. I want to say that first. He was so great, and I love to see how Tim Hardaway Jr. can really. That's why I got my Michigan jersey on. How he can really just go out there and just score like that when we really need it. Who else? Dennis Schroeder. He was so great today. I
He was
love.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, he
good
was
shout
just
out.
like we really, really needed Dennis Schroeder in those crunch time moments, and I feel like with him, we did everything we needed to do with him, and it was great. Who else was good today? Oh, B-ball Paul, man,
Yeah.
he was like really great on defense in the second half specifically. It was like when he was diving for loose balls and when he was getting those crucial rebounds. I love to see that from B-ball Paul, and it was great. And Ron Holland too. He was also really
Yeah.
great. I saw that one block that he had, and I was like, wow. It
It was
reminded me
cool. Yeah,
a
that
lot of
chase
the
down.
Tayshaun Prince one.
So I could see Ron's dad from where I was, and
Hmm.
when Ron got that chase down, his dad was going crazy. It was so cool to see.
Yeah. But yeah, those are really all my good things. I'm glad we stuck out in the fourth quarter. I feel like we kind of lost it like end of third, but when
Yeah,
we got to the fourth quarter, we came out strong. We were a little mid in the midterm, but at the end, we really stuck out even to the last zero point 0.5 seconds. I love to see that. And when I heard Mason was like, "It's not over," I just thought that was so cool. It was so great. But other than that, Tobias Harris.
yeah. I
I
think
I feel like go ahead.
no. I was just going to quickly add, like, just thinking back on the game, like, I think the things that really killed this team was them not closing quarters. I think it was the end of the first or at the end of the first half when the Knicks, it was a 4-point game, then all of a sudden it was 13, and then it's a bit similar like that at the end of the third, I felt. But yeah, go on with Tobias. I thought he was going to come up.
It's just like this whole year, I've low key been a Tobias hater. Now, I love Tobias. I love Tobias. He's a great player, and I'm glad he came back to Detroit. And I feel like every night he goes out there and puts up his great minutes. But at the same time, it's like sometimes the shots that this dude be contesting is like very, very terrible. And when he was he guarding
He was
Cat?
on Cat.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Cat was more cooking JD, if I'm being honest. From what
yeah.
I saw, maybe when I'm at the game, sometimes I'm not as locked in. But yeah,
And I feel like JD Bickerstaff putting these like little players on Cat, it's gotta stop. Like we need B-ball Paul and we need Jalen Duran on Cat. That's what we need. Even Isaiah Stewart when he comes back. That's what we need. But Tobias Harris tonight was a terrible performance. I can't even say anything about him. But I feel like the only person that did worse than Tobias was Malik Beasley. It's like you should be out there shooting threes like that. You should be like that. Same thing with Tim Hardaway Jr. He was shooting the threes, but I feel like they could have done that more. We would be up 3-0 in this series right now if they would actually shoot their threes. I feel like Malik Beasley every single night of this playoff, he just hasn't been performing. Like you need to go out there, you need to be open, and he got so many open looks just to miss. It's like, what is this fatiguing that you got going on? It's the second quarter, and then they want to start actually scoring in the fourth quarter when it's already too late. Like, it makes no sense to me. I feel like if anything, you should be there. You should come out with the game and you should be there with the game. Kay Cunningham, the best player on our team, is passing you the ball with the third pass. Dennis Schroeder passing you the ball, wide open shot, and you still can't make the. It's like, bro. What is going on? It's like I am so disappointed in Malik Beasley. It's like we're not even. I'm more disappointed in the team by itself. I love the team and I love how he came out every night in this playoff. I'm glad we made the playoffs. But at the same time, I feel like we come out here with a slow pace. I feel like against, and I know Nick's defense is great, but Nick's defense isn't that great. Let's be honest. Like, I feel like we need to come out there with the same kind of energy that they have. And it's like Jalen Brunson's getting all these close shots. It reminds me of Cade. Like, why is Cade not out there doing that? Like, if anything, Cade was great tonight, but at the same time, he could have done more. He had a lot of open shots, especially a lot of open threes that he just didn't take. And it's like he would go up to the rack, pass it to Malik Beasley just for him to miss. It's like
I
we keep
will.
on. Go ahead.
No, I will say I think where I agree with you a little bit is I do feel like in these three games the Pistons haven't had like that awesome game. Like it feels like they just haven't like really clicked fully. Like for example, trying to think of a game in the regular season, but they just haven't had that like not full four-quarter game where they're in control, but just like feels like even the game
Like
they
the Boston
won.
game. Like the Boston game.
Yes, yeah, they haven't, and like I'm not expecting a blowout game to be honest in the playoffs, but they just haven't had that like real dominant game. They were close to that at MSG, but they still let the Knicks back into it. So I think, like, I love listening to your rant, and I agree with some of it, and that's what this show is about. But where I'm with you is a bit is like I do feel like even K, like he hasn't had that like he was awesome in game two, but he, he just hasn't had that awesome. I don't know. I think people know what I mean. It just hasn't feel
Hmm.
like everything's fully clicked, and I say that in a bit of a positive way. That, like you said, like I don't know. It's very easily this series could be 2-1 in favor of the Pistons. So,
Hmm. It's like the
but yeah,
chemistry is going down. It's like I feel like with the chemistry, it's like, and if I'm being honest, I really have not seen Asar Thompson do a lot this whole game. Like as I've watched it, I feel like he was doing some things in the first quarter. I'm glad to see that, but the rest of the game, I really didn't see him like do any like magnificent plays or anything. Or I feel like really it's really been Ron Holland and. Dennis Schroeder has really been our core point guard this game. Of course, we have Cade, but Dennis Schroeder has been there and he's been working. And I feel like our chemistry with the whole team has just been going down, especially with the Knicks defense. And I feel like even when it's like 30 seconds left on the clock at the end of the quarter, we're just not even playing. It's like at the end of the third quarter, I think it was Shamit that got like the buzzer beater and it was like, why are we not stepping up? It's like, what's the name? Jalen Brunson shot an easy shot, and Malik Beasley just stood there. He wasn't even worried about it. He's as if he's gonna. And that's
man,
another thing with Malik Beasley.
are you
I feel like
Prince? Can I
he.
ask you? Are you going to be at Game Four?
Oh man, today I found out that my dad had an extra day in South Carolina, so
Uh,
unfortunately, I cannot be
uh,
at Game Four. I hate that I can't go, but if we
that's
do
okay.
make the second round of the playoffs, Dad said he probably could let us go there. But yeah, my birthday is on Saturday, so
Well, Prince, sorry, I want to get your final thoughts. Sorry to cut you off there, but it's just very
mhm,
late and I want to get to Austin and Sarah. But I
mhm.
was hoping you're gonna have something for me for game four. But yeah, what's your final message? I know you're heated and I'm glad you're getting it off your chest, but leave us with a final message.
I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible.
Go.
Um, Malik Beasley talks a lot of stuff on Twitter just to not back it up. I hate that. You should not be doing that. You're bringing the whole chemistry down of the whole team. It's like if you're gonna say something like, "Oh, you only need 7 threes tonight." Anthony Edwards continues to score 24 points. Oh, I'm the best. I'm the best. What's the name shooter in the league right now? Just to have the stats say, like, bro, you need to stop doing this and actually focus on the game. That's what I think Malik Beasley has to do. But enough on Malik Beasley. He's been my favorite player this year. I love him.
Oh,
He's great.
really?
Right. Right. But final thoughts.
Man.
Game
Sorry.
four. Game four is a win. I think it's going to be another close game, but I feel like we can take that game in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter. Probably going to be down, but game four is a win. I feel like LCA's home court advantage is going to help. I'm glad that Ron Holland and everybody else has been hitting their free throws. I'm glad that's happened, but Cade needs to hit his free throws too. Like you're the point guard. You need to, if you can't hit those, then there's really no point in you being able to step up to the line. And other than that, yeah, I feel like that's it.
Good.
Yeah,
Well, I hope. Do you feel a little bit better now you've got that off you?
definitely feel a lot better.
Do
Yep.
you feel like you're gonna sleep well tonight?
Yeah. Hmm.
I love it, man. Well, Prince, I'm a bit sad I'm not seeing you at game four. I thought you were going to be there,
Hmm.
but I'm sure we'll see each other very soon. But
We
appreciate you
definitely will.
staying for sure, my bro. Appreciate you staying up late and jumping on the show.
Hmm. Yeah, it's been great. Bill, I'll be back on the show. What is it? Sunday? Yep.
You'll be back after your favorite player, Malik Beasley, scores 30. I'm excited to talk to you.
Hopefully.
All right,
All
bro.
right,
Catch
man.
you. See you
Catch you,
later.
man.
All right, I'm going to bring up Austin and Sarah at the same time so we don't keep them waiting too late. So, Austin, if you're there, man, feel free to jump on. Sarah, Austin,
Hi
how
What
we
up, man?
guys.
feeling? Ah, look, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Obviously, I want the win, but um, Austin, maybe we'll start with you.
You can start with
Yeah,
Sarah. I'm actually eating a sandwich.
where from?
I just made
Takeaway?
it.
Oh,
I
you
just
made
made
it.
it.
Okay. All right, Sarah, how
All
are you
right.
feeling? Immediate reaction.
You know, we could go on and on about the flaws in this game, and I'm just going to use my short time to just say what I liked because that's just the vibes I think we all need right now. Um, it was definitely a bummer loss, of course. But I would say that that was probably the worst we've played this series and the best the Knicks have played, and we only lost by 2. And that gives me a lot of hope. You were right about closing out quarters. I think that was huge. The way we started the game wasn't great. We did bounce back, which was good, but then another 21-3 run by them in the second half, uh, which was tough. And I don't know, looking at the stats, you wouldn't think it was a terrible game. Like Cade still scored 20, I think 24, 22 maybe, 24, 11 assists, a double-double. But hold on. Moose, not the time. Do you hear him chewing on a bone? Ridiculous. Sorry.
A little bit. You're good.
It's distracting me. But I mean, yeah, the Knicks had a great game, and again, they only lost, but they only won by 2, and I have complete faith in Malik bouncing back. I think that Ron Holland brought the energy. I think that Paul Reed, he only had 4 points, which surprised me. I remember his baskets, but 8 rebounds, which tied Duren. Like
Yeah.
those two led in rebounds. That's amazing. And a couple guys fell off, a couple guys stepped up, and now we just got to clean it up a little bit. And what sucks is that we do always bounce back, but now there's a time limit. It's getting closer and closer to the end of the series.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and give up on them because I don't think we're anywhere near. The series is nowhere near over. So.
No, not at all. And I agree. I think that was the best the Knicks have played because they weren't even that good in game one. They just had that crazy 6 minutes. So, but Austin, following what Sarah kind of said,
Yeah,
how
I
are
mean,
you
I
feeling? What are your thoughts?
I agree. For me, it's really this game came down to a couple little things and like really, really minute things. So one of the big things um, that I really disliked about this game, and there was 2 of them. First, end of the first quarter, Dennis Schroeder gets a rebound, no shot clock, pushes the ball to Malik Beasley, who misses a three, which then results in a Cade foul, made free throw for the Knicks, and then a missed with a tap in, which is a 3-point play. So you lose by 2. There's 3 points you didn't have to give up right there. Um, Same thing at the end of the second quarter. They gave up like back to back buckets, just bad defense. So it's for me, it's really just it's little things that they need to
Yeah.
clean up. It's not anything huge. I mean, some of the turnovers are bad, but really just it's one or two little things, and that it just shows you how crazy the NBA is. That those types of little things can really just change a game. And who knows, if that doesn't happen where the game ends up going. But you know, when you do that and you go into the locker room down by 13 instead of 9, there's a
Yeah.
little bit of like double digits instead of single digits. And then you come out and you have such a good stretch to get back into the game in the third quarter. And then you give up an offensive rebound to Josh Hart right at the end and
Gonna
you go
say that.
back bound by double digits. And
Yeah.
so it's just kind of those little things. And, a lot of people, complaining about the refs. And, I'm not going to lie, I'll sit here and yell at the TV, but at the same time, refs, I mean, they dictate games, but they don't win or lose games.
Yeah.
Um, they dictate the flow and everything, and they'll slow it down or speed it up depending on whatever. But players win and lose games. Jalen Brunson, as annoying as he was, he made some tough buckets. I mean, that turnaround that Cat had on the baseline, you
Yeah.
can't
That
even
was
say
right in
anything.
front of
That's
me.
just such
That
a
was
it's just
crazy.
such a good shot. Shooters shoot and they make shots. And obviously Malik Beasley wasn't hitting tonight. He has not had a very good series, but um, the hope is there. Every time he pulls, you think it's going in.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway Jr. was awesome tonight. I think just in the grand scheme of things, they're kind of getting out of who they are. At the beginning of this game, when they kind of got back into scoring in the paint, that was kind of when the game changed. And I think that's the kind of team they need to be, is running that pick and roll with Cade and Duran and getting those points in the paint, because that's what the Knicks are trying. They're trying to get the Pistons to just outshoot them, which they just can't. So they got to get in the paint. They got to get those dunks, because that's what's doing it. Be physical with them. Stop trying to just play around on the outside. And I don't know. I think they win game 4. I think they come back with some adjustments. Yeah, I don't know. It sucks, but at the same time, today felt like, you remember the Bulls game? I think we've talked about it a couple different times. That Bulls game early in the season where they would get
Early,
down by 10 and
yeah.
they'd come back and then they just couldn't get over the hump and then get down by 10 again, and then Zach LaVine went off in the fourth quarter. But
Was that the one where Vooch was crazy as well?
yeah, it
I
was.
think that's the lowest everyone was on JD.
Yeah,
I mean, and
exactly.
I'm not low on JD now, but like Cat tonight, similar game to that Vooch one,
Yeah.
just like
It, I,
lighting them up. But yeah,
Early on, yes. Sorry, I'll just say this and then you can switch back over.
yeah,
But
you're good.
early on, JD was not playing great perimeter defense. I think towards the end, he was out there. He just doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with Cat on the perimeter. So that was being exposed a little bit, but I don't necessarily blame him for that. I think his perimeter defense got better as the game went on. He missed 2 or 3 right at the beginning that helped Cat kind of get on a roll. So
Yeah,
Stu is just going to be a big help for the team. That's just, you're
I feel
missing your.
like yeah, I think Stu comes back next game. I think it was like the only reason he didn't play today was it's 1-1.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very likely chance they can win at home. So it's like, let's give him one more game before we
Hmm.
have to play him. So yeah, he'll be a huge help. And then I think he would have had now probably 7 days rest
Yeah.
for like since game 1. So that'll be key for sure. And yeah, I'm with you. Like I think JD second half JD was like solid to good. No issues with him. But Scope, thank you I just want to shout out Scope in the chat. We do read the chat. And thank you for joining the stream. But Sarah, I guess moving on to, is there any other thoughts you have on game 3 first, and then we'll go to game 4 quickly?
Not really. I mean, I think for me it just looked like we weren't ourselves. Like Prince mentioned too, like it just was a little bit of a mess, and it couldn't really pinpoint where, because we, and I wanted to go back to what you said too. Like, you're kind of waiting for us to have like a good game. We haven't gone on a good run. Like, we'll go on like an 8-point run and then fall off. Like, we haven't gone on a good, confident run, I feel like, yet. So that's just really what I'm expecting coming up. But yeah, game 3, just a heartbreaker. I wanted, we all wanted, them to win at home. And I did love, oh my gosh, I was cracking up at the boos for Brunson. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, can I ask? I was just going to say, obviously in the arena, it was like deafening, genuinely.
Yeah.
What was it like on the broadcast? Because sometimes it doesn't come through, but I'm assuming it was tonight.
There were a couple whistles that I was like, that was a foul. And then I realized that they called it, but I couldn't hear the whistle. That's why.
Crazy.
But then I would say the boos for Brunson were pretty great. They kept showing Kat's face, and every shot he made, he just smiled, and I just wanted to be like,
yeah.
But, it was definitely, you could tell that the environment was up there. Like, it was cool, except the national broadcast just kept zooming in on like Ben Stiller and Timothy Chalamet and all the and like that was annoying. But the national broadcast, they did bring up how loud it was at LCA.
Yeah. Like, I had some of my friends back from Australia messaging being like, I've got goosebumps watching this Pistons crowd. I think it was in the second quarter when they were making a run and tied it up. So I was like, it must be coming through on the TV because it was crazy in there. But for game 4, early tip off. I don't know if you guys ever get a bit nervous about those weird, it's a 1 p.m. start. Do you guys call them matinee games? Sunday matinee?
Yeah.
I don't.
What does that what does that mean, by the way?
Matinee is like they call it like the early shows, the matinee in the theater. It's like early afternoon. It's usually the matinee in theater and movies is usually cheaper to go to, and it's associated but yeah, it's 11 a.m. for me in Denver. I love this because I feel like we do better in the early games. I think I'll have to look at the stats, but I think that we do better in the early games. And I'm
haunted from them because so that game, that's actually what time every 7 p.m. Eastern game starts for me in Australia. So you're getting a taste.
Really?
Like that's literally the 82 games, just pretty much all that. But I'm scarred from these early starts, not so much from this particular team, but back with like the Andre Drummond teams, that it'd be very early Monday morning for me. I'd get up at 4 a.m. and I just vividly remember they would always play Charlotte in these games. I would wake up 4 a.m. and they would get killed by the Hornets. And I'd just be like, what am I doing with my life watching Kemba Walker cook my Pistons? But just a bit of insight on the times there. But sorry, back to game 4.
No, you're okay. I'm looking forward to it again. Like, it's just another thing to bounce back from. It's the first taste of the playoffs still for a lot of these guys, and it's the same team back to back over and over again. The frustrations are building. All the text tonight, oh my God, all the text tonight. I wanted an ejection so bad. But the Jalen Brunson to the eye of Tim Hardaway was insane. Like, just literally like didn't even look like he was going for the ball. I was like, that should be a 2, but it's fine. I loved Paul Reed's energy. I love how they showed it. I don't know if you saw the game, but you'll have to go back and look after Paul Reed and Robinson got into the altercation and Reed went to the bench. They showed on the TV like 5 of the players around him just being like, it's okay, big guy. Like, they were really like amping him up, but also calming him down. It was really cool. I just love that kind of physicality, and it's just going to get more and more. And I agree with you with Stu. I think that they were kind of like, well, let's see what happens, because there's a good chance that Kat's off again. Like, or that someone's off again. So let's just see. And I think playing it safe was fine because, again, we played we let 4 players on the Knicks go above 20 points. And so now Stu has another few days to rest and he can come back.
Well, that's a good thing. 2 days. Yeah, it's Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Friday right now, but yeah.
Technically.
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday in Denver still.
Of course. Austin, how are you feeling for game 4? I know you kind of said before, like, you feel like they will win, but
yeah, I mean, I feel like they're not going to go out sad, man. Like, they've played through too much adversity this season to like just kind of fall off a cliff. Like I think they're going to come out real hungry. I think also real quick, I know that we're on to game 4, but just
Oh
shout out
no.
Holland this
Oh,
one. Uh, did you lose me for a second? I don't know if you heard me.
you were saying shout out, but I didn't hear who it was for.
Yeah, I got to shout out Ron Holland for this
Yeah.
game. Seemed like when he came in, the energy was crazy. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to give that shout out really quick
No, you
because
can
I
stay on
didn't get a
game 3
chance
if
to.
you
So,
like.
no, I mean, game 4, man. I feel like the vets, like Tobias Harris today, like look at the box score and you're like, man, he needs to be better. But he got taken out of that game so early with fouls. He had no chance to get a rhythm going in both halves. Like, and when you really look at the runs the Knicks went on, it was when he was on the bench. Like that first quarter 21-3 run, he was on the bench that whole time. Like, and like as much as you say he's not a scorer, his impact on the court is huge. So I think just keeping him on the court allows the Pistons to play more free and better basketball. So keep him out of foul trouble. I would say keep Asar out of foul trouble, but he wasn't in it today and didn't really have an impact. It didn't really seem like very much. So I don't know. I think they come out, I think they play with some fire. I think they try to, you know, y- I don't know. I think today was tough for them, especially to start the game the way they went 0 for 7. I think they were just so juiced up from the crowd, which I don't blame them. I mean, that place was going crazy and it's the first, real taste they have of it. So I think they'll take the experience they learned in this one, change those little details. And I mean, I don't know. I just think that the Knicks are just not the guys that they think they are. They sure act tough, but I don't think that they're that. I don't. Jalen Brunson has the worst. How was he has the worst balance of any NBA player I've ever seen. The dude's falling down like it's, I don't know. It's just annoying to watch,
No
and they're
core
all like
strength,
that.
what I
And
say. No core strength. If you're just
No,
coming
it's
from it. I say the same thing about Anthony Davis. Like, what are you doing?
yeah, literally.
Oh.
It was so after watching Jalen Brunson in game 2 in front of his own home fans and having Knicks fans behind me being like, he doesn't get enough calls, or how's Cade getting this call? But to have the entire arena booing that man, saying F you.
yeah,
Every time he would flop, the crowd, especially for the first half at the start, like they were on his ass. It was so good.
yeah.
And I can't wait for it again in game 4. Like if we win as well, or get like, because I feel like tonight, did we have the lead for more than like 10 seconds? Feel like we maybe got tied and maybe we're up by a few, but the crowd almost didn't get a full chance to just like go crazy for like a full extended amount of time. But yeah, Brunson,
Yeah.
I don't know. I always say I respect from where he came from as like a late first, early second. I can't really remember 6-man to what he is now. Like you have to respect it. But man,
I think the
he's
argument
a
could
tough
be
watch.
made that like he's good enough. He doesn't need to do that stuff. I think that's this is the
Yeah.
same argument with like what James Harden used to do. Like, dude, you're good enough to score without it. And um, at the same time, like you want to be pissed at him, but why are the refs calling it? If the refs don't call it, he doesn't do it, and then it doesn't. So
Yeah.
there has to be a change on both sides. Um, but yeah, that's spoke my piece. So
We love it.
Same. I agree though with Brunson. He used to be one of my favorite players to watch. I've said it before, like the Knicks, when the Pistons haven't been in the playoffs, I needed someone to root for to continue basketball, and it was the Knicks. By the last few seasons, it's been more and more apparent that it's just like, I mean, even all Knicks fans are just like, I just can't watch it. I just can't watch it.
Oh,
Because I would be embarrassed.
yeah,
If Cade was doing that, I'd be like, come on.
yeah.
national media kind of getting on Brunson has been funny to watch.
Yes,
I can't lie
Yeah.
about that.
it has. And I mean, it's been kind of nice. And I wasn't seeing a lot of head whipping today. I don't think the refs were that bad today. It was just more
Yeah,
like
he did a lot
they
less of it
chose
today for sure.
call, and the calls they
Yeah.
chose not to, but the wrong times kind of swayed it. Like you said, they can impact it, but they can't change the game.
Yeah, no, I agree with Austin on that. Like there were some frustrating calls, but I don't feel like they lost because of that. That backcourt
Yeah.
was questionable, but like, I don't know. But
Yeah.
do either of you have any more thoughts before I'm going to get to some comments after this before we wrap up the stream? I know it's late, but yeah. Any final thoughts? We'll kick it to you, Austin, and then we'll close with Sarah.
Yeah, no, man. I'm just I'm looking forward to Sunday. These playoff games have been I don't know, it's just been awesome to be watching the Pistons right now. You know, it's brought my love for basketball back a little bit. Like I feel the stress of it, which is like not a good thing, but at the same time like I'm loving it.
Yeah. No, I feel you for
I'm
sure.
like, "Oh man, you know, from where we came when how as far as we've come this season, like where we started to where we are now, I would have never thought. So it's just, happy to be here. Definitely want to keep winning, but it's hard to count on this team for everything that they've done so far this season. So
Yeah, no. Well said, man. You've been here from pretty much the start with me, so but I appreciate you jumping on, Austin, my man. I'm gonna see you
yeah, for sure.
potentially Saturday, I hope, but we're gonna catch up. 'Cause I
Yeah,
think you're close
yeah,
by to me,
hopefully.
aren't you?
Yeah, dude, I'm literally like probably a block away from you right now. So yeah.
All right, my man. We might have to go throw some baseballs, but I'm not going to reveal any more on that. Might need your help on some things,
Hey,
but
I
I'll
can
hit
help
you
for
up in
sure.
DMs.
All
All
right,
right,
man.
brother. Thanks for staying up.
See ya. Yep, see ya.
Catch ya. All right, Sarah.
Well,
Final thoughts.
all I could say is, a couple days ago, I was here saying how proud I am of this team, regardless of what they do. And so I can't, I'm not going to fault them too much for tonight because I'm still proud of them for, playing 48 minutes of basketball. And it wasn't the prettiest, but they did it. And again, they've exceeded my expectations so far this whole season. They can do it even more. And so I'm just excited. I'm very excited for Sunday now. I'm ready for them to come back out strong. And I think just starting off the game strong is just going to be the main point. So
Absolutely. Oh, and I have to ask because you've been big on this. Were they wearing the suits? I missed all the pre-game walking.
I missed some of it too. I did see some. It looked like a couple of them were. Bees wore his. Tobias wore his. I gotta look
Nice.
it up. And then I know that they said some are going to debut on Sunday as well. So maybe they just have to pick and choose. But yeah, it was cool. I recently saw the announcements because again, TNT didn't show the intros, so I didn't get to see the intros. But wow, that's just so cool. And gosh, the home team, we just deserve a win. It's happening. It's happening.
It's happening Sunday. We're gonna be here celebrating.
Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
Sarah, thank you for staying up and jumping on. Everyone appreciates you. So enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll be back hopefully after a win on Sunday.
Sounds good. Bye.
Catch you later. Bye. All right, Pistons fans, thank you all for all your interactions in the comments. I'm going to go through a couple now. My guy, Sean, I'm effing furious, but I'm really proud of this team. Don't read the F word, Jack. Appreciate you, Sean. YouTube user, I don't think the Pistons played a very good game and still had a chance to win. Let's hope our guys play more like themselves the next game and we even up the series. Yeah, I agree. I think, I can't remember if it was Austin or Sarah, but one of them said that was probably the worst game of the three the Pistons have played. And I don't think they've played any horrible games. Just if you had to pick out of the three, that was probably their worst, just in terms of closing quarters and that kind of thing. But they were still really solid, and the Knicks were really good tonight. So appreciate you, YouTube user. Darren Byrne. Darren, I believe you're Zav's dad. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you're from up in Brisbane, so I appreciate your support. Feel like the Pistons took the Knicks' best shot, and they maybe can't play any better. I'm almost certain Detroit can. Key front court guys, Tobias and JD, need to avoid foul trouble. Absolutely. Austin alluded to that with Tobias and how important he is with his foul trouble. And yeah, JD as well. Like, I thought the game 2 I watched with him in New York, I felt like that might have been his best game as a pro, at least the ones I've watched. So they need him on the court, especially when Stru's out. Nothing against B-Ball Paul, but I think JD offensively, with Cade, him as a role man, like is crucial to the offense. So they need JD out there. Just another Ross. This is a great learning experience for the Pistons. Each game has been an adjustment for each team, which is what playoff basketball is all about. For sure. Great way to put it, and appreciate the comment. Who we got here? DJ Mr. Man 246X718. Good game, Pistons fans. I'm a diehard Knicks fans, but that series is a classic battle. Two dogs going at it. Couldn't agree more. Appreciate you jumping in on the stream, my friend. Yeah, like I said the other day, my experience at MSG with all the Knicks fans was 95% positive. Like, I actually had so much fun with them. We had a bit of trash talking. Towards the end there, when it looked like the Pistons were going to win, it got a little bit more intense, but that's just what it's all about. I had a really good time with Knicks fans, so I appreciate you jumping on the stream. Let's scroll through here a little bit more. Darren, man, game was so electric. Refs blow, man. Crowd was crazy. Sean, the Knicks went all in. Actually, I won't read this, Sean. Appreciate you, though. Devon, they look lackluster, but I think they'll win Sunday. I feel like they will too. Sean, have TSJ and Beasley ever shot well in the same game? It seems like it's always one or the other. They definitely have this season, but I think the main thing for the Pistons is you normally need one of them shooting well. And that was a thing in game 2 that was surprising. Neither of them shot well. I think they hit 1-3 between them and the Pistons won. That was like the fact they couldn't hit a 3 that game was like one of the key things in me just thinking it was such a good win is because they normally one of those two is going to give you 4 threes or they're going to hit 5 threes. And TSJ did that tonight. So that's why I'm not too mad at Beasley. From my angle, it looked like a couple of those ones in the 4th or late 3rd were going in, but they didn't. But at the end of the day, you got those threes from TSJ. So he hit 7. So if you get 7 between them or 8, like, you want Bees to hit some more, but it's hard to want more than 8 threes from 2 guys. But I think the thing for me, I was going to say this to Austin because I remember him and I talking about this early in the year. But I feel like a key indicator for wins has been when 2 out of the 3 vets play like solid to good games in Tobias, TSJ, and Beasley. And tonight, you could probably only say TSJ was really good. Tobias, foul trouble, kind of only scored the 5 points, and then Beasley just had another down game shooting wise. So I think the key is for 2 of them to be clicking, and that's normally a really good sign for a Pistons win. Love this from Pistons next. Just wanted to say I love the Pistons. Losing by 2 knowing we're without Ivy and Stu is insane. I hope fans keep into perspective of how great things are for us despite the loss. Couldn't agree more. Pistons next. Like, hit the nail on the head. That's exactly how I feel. It's easy to forget we're missing our second best scorer and probably our second best player in Jaden Ivey when he's healthy. And then Isaiah Stewart, like, don't even really need to say how important he is. He's by far our best defender on Cat. And like, every time we played New York in the regular season, in those 3 wins, Stu is huge. JD was in foul trouble and Stu just came right in. And yeah, it's a shame we haven't gotten to see him, but I feel like he's going to be back. Even in game 1, before he aggravated that knee, he was doing his thing. So I feel like we're going to see him in game 4. But great perspective. Pistons next. Tom, Jack's, but yeah, my voice is a bit cooked. Sorry, I'm not down and out. I think my throat's and my voice. I will say we did a heap of fan interviews today and got so much good fan content around LCA. So we're gonna get that posted as soon as we can. So please keep an eye out for that because it was incredible. Lots of screaming today. Like I said, I just didn't have internet really at the game, so I couldn't really post anything. But we've got some really good fan interviews and just fan hype stuff coming on Pistons Jack. So appreciate you, Tom. Hope you're having a good day. DJ Knicks fan, but why Pistons fans start walking out in the clutch moments? That's not a good look at all. Where's the confidence? And right, yeah, I don't really care about this. Like, if you want to leave the game early, go for your life. I see what you're saying here, but I don't know. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it was like 7 points. I think Brunson hit. It was a 3-point game. Then Brunson hit like back-to-back layups. I think TSJ might have missed a 3 in there, and I know the Pistons made some plays, but if you got family and kids and stuff, like, it's the school night. So not saying that's for everyone, but stuff doesn't really bother me too much. I think the crowd was awesome tonight. Appreciate you, Devin. Great seeing you again, Jack. Hope to see you again before you leave. Absolutely, my brother. I'm sure we'll run into each other, but awesome to see you and appreciate your support. As always, you're a legend. Okay. Oh, we got some Knicks fans in here. What's Tom up to here? Oh, so they were. Tom's telling us they were wearing the suits. Love to hear that. I'm sure Sarah will be happy. I think Stu looked like he had a new suit on the bench. Yeah, I think this is a good way to wrap it up. Nothing's changed. Pistons in 6. Absolutely it is. Shout out to you, Raptors World. Appreciate you jumping on in here. Oh, wow. Okay, there's lots of back and forth in here. We're going to wrap it up. It's really late. Appreciate everyone, though, joining the stream. I am trying my best to do these as quick as I can after the game, but thank you to everyone for staying up late. It's 12:30 a.m. Eastern here. So thank you to all of you for staying up. We will be back after game 4, game 5, game 6, however long this thing goes. So thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to Sarah, Austin, and Prince for jumping on. But until next game, as always, go Pistons.